right, we're live. Welcome everybody to this week's DoneJS community hangout. We'll just talk about what we did this week, what we're planning on doing in the future. This time we're also going to have a look at CanJS 3.0. Did I miss anything? I just got up. I'm sorry. I'm not too well prepared.
It's okay. You want to go first, David?
I'm going to let you go first because we'll basically kind of look at the Can 3.0 to do MVC, which might at the end, I think.
True. I'll do mine briefly. I've been working on Steel docs most of this week. I've added a couple of guide pages. I've added configuration, which goes over like some common things that you want to configure. I've added moving to production, which a lot of people have problems with switching to production mode. That kind of explains that. I added a guide on writing plugins that kind of goes through writing a very simple plugin, and it links to all the different hooks that you can override. So I've been working on that. I'm going to continue working on more Steel docs. I think I'm going to document module names next because that's a confusing bit. And then I'm going to do a Steel presentation as well. So that's me.
Cool. Thank you. Julian, want to go next?
Yeah, nothing much about me. So yeah, I'm writing some test apps for multi-main, and hopefully we can link that to and some people can look into the example apps with Steel and can take a look at that. So not much about me.
Yeah, Julian, maybe we should have a page. We can talk about this together, but maybe we should have a page on Steel that just like lists a bunch of different example apps. Because we do have a lot of different example apps for different use cases. Maybe we could link.
Maybe we can do that, because I'm wanting to make an example app for React, so we can use React and Steel, and it's very short. So it's a very short example app who is demonstrating how you can Steel loading with React, with DoneJS, with Done Auto Render, and all the stuff. So people can have a look at that and can clone or fork this repo and can starting testing with Steel, and if they like it, they can use it for his or for their production.
Cool.
Yeah, that's for me.
Prashant, you want to go?
Sure, I can do it. So I was working on one Can util defect. That is number 3 in Can util. So I have submitted a pull request for this defect, and I have requested Justin to take a look at my changes. But I'm yet to hear from him. I'm not sure whether it is good enough to be merged or not.
Which repo? Which repo is it?
That's Can util.
Oh, Can util. Okay.
Yeah, it's defect number 3, which is about deep extend changes.
Okay. Yeah, just keep pinging him. Sometimes he's busy and he forgets. I would just, I usually just ping him in the issue, and if he doesn't respond to that, try to ping him by, I don't know if you want chat or something. You just gotta keep annoying him. He'll eventually look at it.
Okay, sure. So that was one. I'm also looking into another issue, which is number 2358. It's about rendering the stash templates as a string. So basically, the expected value is a string, but then but we always get a document fragment when we try to do this rendering. So that is the second issue that I'm looking at.
Okay. Cool.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Prashant.
Chef just dropped off again. It kind
Chef
of saw
dropped
it
off.
briefly.
Marshall, I think you have some cool stuff. Marshall?
Marshall's stuck too.
Is he stuck? Kevin?
Sure. I don't have very much. I've been working on a couple of small bugs in the generator, DoneJS. I've got one pull request open for one of those, and then the second one I was just trying to figure out what Justin was talking about. And then I started working on DoneJS Mocha again, so hopefully I have something to show on that soon.
That will be very cool.
Look forward to that. Marshall, are you there though?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's a little better. Okay, so let me share my screen. All right, I've been working on feathers integration. I've been working on this for ages, and I actually have something that works. So I created the CanConnect feathers package. Makes it easy to you can even connect, I'm pretty sure, to multiple feather services. I haven't tested that, or not services, but servers. Anyway, it connects into Supermap with one line. Well, two if you count this one. And then you can also connect up the real-time stuff like that. So that's one I'm really, really glad to have behind me. And then I also made this DoneJS Connect model. This is a generator. So instead of basically it makes the same thing as Supermap or a supermodel, but it does the verbose version. So you can customize the you can take out the local storage one is the most common use for me. Every now and then I run into a model that I don't want local storage on. So that will actually generate the same thing as Supermap, just with all the behaviors explicitly listed out, so you can customize it and add your own if you need to, type thing. Cool. Has a bug in it right now, though. I just kind of copied over what Supermap was making, but I just need to fix one thing, and then it'll just work flawlessly. So one of the local storage behavior doesn't register correctly. And then this is an example app I've been working on. I took the Feathers chat app, and it actually uses this tool here. Uses the CanConnect Feathers package that I made. But it's an example app on how to make JWT token auth work with server-side rendering. So if I log in here, apparently I don't remember my own password.
It's a demo, of course it wouldn't work.
Well, that's weird. It worked last night. Maybe I don't have. Oops. Why is that not working?
Obviously did not make enough sacrifices to the demo gods this morning.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware I had to make sacrifices like that, so they're probably really angry at me right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So let's try this. The app started, so I would think this was running. Login.html. Okay, that's weird. Okay, well,
Problem with your routes, maybe.
another day. But anyway, server-side rendering works with all your authenticated data, and it works really well, unless you want to show it off. So.
Cool. Yeah, I think this is very, very awesome. Hopefully when it's working, you can deploy it to Heroku or something like that. That'd be definitely a really cool demo to have the full feathers integration shown off. So.
Yeah, we'll see if I can ever get it to run again. Who knows? My screen's still sharing, or did I stop?
No, you stop.
Stop.
Okay, that was an accident. Not sure how that happened, but that's what I wanted to do, so that's good.
All right.
And it wasn't an accident, was it?
No.
Must not have been if I wanted to. But.
Jason, you want to go? If you have anything.
Yeah, I don't really have anything as far as issues or things that I've been working on. For the past 2 weeks, I've given 2 different talks. I have had issues with uploading them both to Google Drive and to Dropbox, so I think I'm gonna just zip them up and send them to someone to make them available to everyone else because I want to contribute those back. So that's what's been on my plate recently.
Are you have more talks coming up, or are you done for a while?
You know what? I don't have anything for sure confirmed scheduled, but I have a few more meetups that I'm trying to work out details with. So I should have at least one more talk in May, if not more.
Yeah, there's a training tomorrow, right?
Yes. Yeah, there's a full-day training in LA tomorrow.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. David,
Right.
you're last man standing.
I think I'll go. So this week and before we worked on CanJS 3.0. We split it all up into 1,000,000 modules, and there's also the preferred way of using can define. There's a can map define, and then now there's a can define, which lets you define properties on an object, and then you can use it without having to use .adder, which is kind of cool. So can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Apparently it asked me twice now. Okay. So I'm going to make this a little bigger, maybe like this. Yesterday, Justin worked on to do MVC on how this would look with our new 3.0. So maybe we can like quickly go through it. It's not too long. Quickly go through it and then maybe have a little bit of a discussion and see if there's anything that's not as nice. So can define will be the preferred way for 3.0, but we're still going to ship compatibility built with can list and can map. But it turned out that with that new can define, you don't even need those anymore because you can define all your properties like that. So okay, anyway, let's get started. So first thing you see is that everything is in its own module. So basically, the main CanJS is just going to become a wrapper package for all of this stuff. We're loading our views with Steel. Any questions about the modularization or anything?
No, that makes sense.
Then we have the algebra for can connect, can set, and fixtures. Also use this to automatically create the fixtures. This is a store for fixtures. To do MVC usually stores it in local storage, but we wanted to actually emulate the API. Let's look at that in a little bit, because the interesting part is this. So here we're defining a to-do with the properties. So ID is a number, name is a string, complete is a Boolean, editing is a Boolean. And what this does is that you can create observable to-dos. So you say new to-do, and then you can say, I can do this. Oh well, I gotta probably run it, right? So and then you say to-do dot name equals testing, right? And that will be observable property. So you don't need to do to-do dot adder name. Actually, the adder doesn't exist anymore. You just say to-do dot name, and then you can also to-do read the name, obviously. So this makes things a lot nicer. If you look at the list,
That's it.
There's nothing in the list. I wanted to show how you can access those properties, actually, but that's okay. So for the list, we're basically kind of doing the same thing, except that here we say, okay, for every item in the list, convert it to a to-do. And then we define some getters. So the remaining, you just filter. I kind of wanted to make an ES6 version because all this stuff would like be only 4 lines of code. But so you can just say list dot remaining, and it'll give you the number of remaining items, right? This is a CanConnect supermap. So here we have the algebra, the list, the map, and what to connect to. The component pretty much looks like we're used to.
I think the view model is new, right? I think the capital V view model. I think he added that so that if you use capital V view model, then it's going to be, I could be wrong on this, but I feel like it's going to be a can-define map.
Oh yeah, we didn't have a capital view model before.
Right. Yeah. We had lowercase v. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is going to be yeah. You see here it's defined, right? And here's there's missing a comma. But it's pretty straightforward, right? You just say create to do, and then you like map it. Was there anything else worth pointing out? The to-dos promise. And this just filters the to-dos based on the status, right? So that's pretty much it. Question? Yes? What?
Yeah, can you go back up to the next section where it does the map, or I think is, or maybe it's the component. Yeah, the component with the capital view model. So, no, it wasn't here. Go down a little bit. Maybe it's the app view model. Weird. I don't know where it went. Okay, go above the component, maybe. Somewhere like, okay, so like when you do a define and you don't, okay, so when you're not using like, so you have your define property and you don't make it like an object. Go up just a little bit more. Oh, that's the to-dos list. Yeah, to-dos create. So right there, name string.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't use an object there, then are we going to assume it's the type then and not the value?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I think we are.
Okay.
Yes.
What is it? How does it work with can map define? Is it the value? I don't know.
I've never tried it, honestly. I've always put anything that wasn't defined separately down with the functions. So.
Yeah, can you do that with can map define?
Well, I think the point of can map define is these are the properties that are. You need to know all the possible properties in advance, so that we can set up getters and setters for the adder list functionality.
Yeah, and honestly, I guess I usually on those little like one-off properties like that, I usually just set them to null so I can assign them to something later. So this would be better anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of discussion on like what is the default, right? I mean, there's one thing like this is a little clunky too, having the getter functions, right? But
should be able to make it work with a ES getter.
Yeah, but then you would just lose the colon, right?
Well, it wouldn't be an object either. It would be like remaining.
Would it be get function?
Get remaining. I don't know if we maybe we can make that work. I don't know.
Like would it look like
No, it would look like get remaining. I think get.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like this.
So sorry, if I'm wrong, we can't edit new properties to the defined map. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, you can add new properties. I think Justin had a way to like define properties later to add new properties. So I think that it's not shown in this example, but I think he did have a way that he was thinking about.
So the problem is we've been thinking about using object.freeze so that you can't change the object anymore. That because the problem is if you still allow to add like properties just with direct accessing, you can't hook into it, right? And then nothing happens. So it's super confusing. They're not really observable.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that personally, doing the object freeze.
So, and Justin mentioned that would be slower, right? And Justin mentioned that would make it slower, potentially.
Maybe. You have to test it. It might not be, but.
Yeah, but but if you freeze an object, how we can update an object in can model? For example, we have a can model and in Supermap, and we want to update that can model. So how we can do that if we freeze the defined map or the
I
to
forgot
do?
how freeze works. I thought freeze just won't let you.
So I thought the idea was that we would freeze the objects just so that we could show kind of warning messages to people saying, you're trying to update a property that you haven't defined.
Yeah, that is prevents new properties from being added.
But I think you're right. Like that could be a problem in.
Oh no, prevents them from being changed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so probably would not use freeze. Maybe what he meant there's a way with define property. Well, no, that's not true. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Well, that will need more discussion. I personally think there should be a way to add more properties, even if they're not going to be observable.
Maybe object.seal. I think you can't add new properties.
Okay.
Look at it.
But I thought he did suggest a way to where you could be like later say, hey, now I want to add this other new property that exists, and this is the type definition of that new property.
Yeah, I think Kevin is right, but the thing is this supported?
Yeah.
Evergreen only, probably.
Object static methods, seal.
That's not
That's
bad.
good.
That's pretty good. I9, really? Wow.
All stuff's pretty old, isn't it? Isn't that ES5 stuff?
Yeah, I think
is.
it was, but IE8 doesn't even.
It's one of those things that you never use just because IE8 doesn't support it.
Well, I mean, the good thing is that we don't have to worry about that anymore. By the way, CanJS 3.0 is not going to support IE8.
The only comment I had about this is using the star here, or the asterisk. Like, I understand what that means, but I kind of found it to be weird for a list.
How would you do brackets?
I don't know. I don't really have an answer. I do like I guess I do like the fact that we're using the same. It's the same way you would do a normal map. You use star in a normal. You could use star in a normal map.
Yeah.
So it's cool that in that respect, but I don't know. I just find it to be a little bit non-obvious that what we're saying is that every item within this list is going to be a type to do.
But what would be more obvious, right? Because everything else will be a property name. I guess
Everything else, yeah. I know.
Yeah, honestly, I know what you're talking about, because yesterday when I was going through this, I looked at remaining and completed, then I saw star type to do, and I couldn't figure out how remaining...
Yeah, I know. I was like, what is that setting remaining to be the type of to do? It's not doing that. I hope it's not doing that.
So bracket?
Maybe can you... Maybe define list extend could take a base type or something. Maybe we could have some other way to set the base type.
Oh,
no, it's not really a base type.
You mean if you look at define list, where is it? So you'd have instead this, you'd do
yeah, maybe.
I guess.
I'm not saying that's a good idea. It's just, I'm not saying that's even better. It's just that was the only thing that I was kind of.
Or maybe.
Getting love.
Would you even use any of the other define properties at all in that? If you did the star method, what other prop defined, like the getter, setter, and stuff like that? There's really nothing else that's valuable, right?
For a property conversion, no. Yeah, you're right. But there's other properties that you could define on here, right? Like remaining is a property on the list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, for the individual items, like doing the star method, I don't think there's really anything else that's useful other than setting the type, right?
Yeah, probably.
You wouldn't set the value. You wouldn't override all the values. So.
Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, I think maybe this is probably a better syntax to set the type of each item.
And I mean, if you don't set it, then it'll just use object.
But we defined the list on the to-do map. So why we need a type? So we have to do.
Oh, because this is just basically you would do it like this, I guess.
Yeah, okay. But
There's,
if we do not, we have a type. Maybe we can bubble up.
well, we don't know.
No, you can't do that. That'd be cool if you could be like, hey, what's the dot
I mean,
before?
you could like add something like that, right? But
Yeah.
you need to pass the type because this doesn't really know about its parent.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you could just call it to-do list and then, but I know there was like can map created a to-do.list internally that converted it to its parent type.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
That might be okay to do.
maybe yeah, and then you just say okay.
But then how do you still want to define? But you still want to have a defined. So how would you even do
Yeah,
that?
so you do this.
Mm. Yeah, that's true. Possibly.
Okay,
Actually,
so
I bet that would already work. Actually, I bet that would work.
so and then you do that whole thing.
Yeah.
But I guess you might not want a .list property on your constructor all the time, right?
Maybe not.
Okay, I'll throw up a discussion on CanJS about this. I think there is one. Is there one?
Oh, and the issues? No.
There's a post in a forum.
Yeah, it's in the forum.
Okay, well then let's move it to the forum. But any other questions or comments or anything? So there's going to be a build version. It turned out that people actually really like the download builder, which is very interesting. So we might have to still provide something where you can click together your own CanJS, and we need a compatibility build that includes can map and can list, so that your app doesn't completely break.
Hey, David, I had a question here.
Go ahead.
With this, we won't be using dot enter to get in zip properties. So now, how are we going to listen to the change events in these attributes? Will it continue to stay the same, or will there be a different mechanism?
How do you can okay? So you can do can.on. Okay. So ideally, in the view, you wouldn't have to worry about change events at all, right? But you can. So we do. Okay.
I think you can bind to. Well, no, I think it doesn't add a bind property. I thought it did.
I don't. Does it?
No,
I don't think so. I'd have to look into that. I don't know that at the moment.
But I think there is no like change event. I think there's an event. Maybe there's an event for each property, but I don't think there's like a change event. I thought that was one of the benefits of this.
Yeah, my understanding.
There's no general change event. There's only it's also pretty small. It's like only 2K. I think there's only like named events. I have to look at this. Event. Yeah. So, Prashant, to answer your question, now that I know, you would import the events, and that has a general .on, and then you would say name. Like this. Oh, sorry. So you pass your to-do, the property you want to listen to, and then the handler. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I'd have to get back to you.
Bind, huh?
Pardon?
There's no more just like map.bind.
No, I'm looking at the code. It looks like there.
Is an event.
Yeah, it looks like there is actually.
Oh, okay.
There's a. I think add event listener is the preferred method, but then I think we alias bind and on to that as well.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty much all the events were going to be the same. Just we would completely remove the change, specifically the change event.
Oh, you are correct.
Yeah, it looks like that.
Sorry.
Looks like that.
So to-do.on. Sorry, Prashant. This is how it looks.
Yeah, that's nice and clean.
Sorry about that. Cool. That was a good discussion, and I learned something too. Anything else for today?
I just want to briefly discuss kind of our upgrade strategy. We're at the point where we have, not insignificant number of people using DoneJS in production, and we're still releasing minor versions that are, breaking. So, like, kind of, what is our strategy on making it as easy as possible to help people upgrade?
I think that's a good discussion, and we should have it like nailed down for 1.0, right?
We don't know when 1.0 is going to happen, though.
Yeah.
Could be a year from now.
Well, hopefully not, but
hopefully not. So I guess my idea is just that we, like, at the very least, we should like make an effort to make really good release notes. Like, I know, like, one problem that I've had with some people is that they've tried to upgrade their DoneSSR, and it turns out that DoneSSR and Done Auto Render need to be like with compatible versions. So we need to think, at least when we do a release of DoneJS, in the releases tab in GitHub, is create a release and say, how to upgrade. You need to upgrade the DoneSSR version, whatever, DoneS Auto Render this version, etc. I think that would be a good start, and eventually it'd be good to have like some type of update, like how you can do npm update, which will kind of update everything.
But wouldn't that, well, yeah, update everything, but I don't think you can automate like changing the API for.
Yeah, that's what I see it as, kind of like two levels. There is like, well, just literally give me the most recent dependencies, and that might break your app, or it might not, depending on what the changes are.
And then have an upgrade guide?
Well, there's that, and then there is like, well, maybe we could also have some type of, something that rewrites part of your code to upgrade an API that's changed.
That's a can of worms.
There are some tools out there for that kind of thing. I've seen.
Yeah, I've used those before, but it's not easy. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Even if we just made a tool kind of like NVM that, like, you could say like DoneJS use, and it would like move all the packages in sync. It doesn't have to change your code.
Yeah.
Like, at least, like, if you want to, like, a 0.8 version, it like puts all the ones that work together into your app.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That would be valuable to me.
So it's like, I want to upgrade to 0.9. Well, it updates all of my dependencies. It might not work, but at least I have like at least I know that I'm using compatible versions, and I can fix my code.
That wouldn't be too hard, right? Because we just say pull down the package.json from that tag, or the latest version of 0.9, and then put them in there. So yeah, that's probably a good first step.
Well, I think the first step is just when we do a release
notes.
Make the release notes at least.
I found a great changelog generator actually that I've started using. It basically looks at all your releases, and then it looks at all the issues and pull requests that got closed in between, and just generates it automatically for you, which is a lot nicer than doing it manually for all the projects, or not doing it all. because we do have a lot of projects in there now that will probably be quite useful.
Yeah, I think I'll.
Maybe
There's
I'll
an
make
issue.
it part of plugin.
There's an issue on DoneJS about this. I'll update with kind of my idea of an API, and
Okay.
someone wants to take it on, you can have it. But we'll just see what happens.
Awesome. Sounds good. We'll pick this up next week then. Sorry, Marshall?
I had one more thing that I wanted to cover that I forgot till now. On the model, like the supermodel and the connect model generator, I would like to add an extra question that says, like, do you want to use like a modlet folder? Want to see if anybody's opposed to that. Like, we could still have it like the default be no, but I'm going to always use a modlet folder.
Oh.
We had this discussion.
Well, you can create your own generator, right? Like, I mean the connect, the one that you created, can't you add it in there?
Yeah, I would add it in there. I just wanted to see if I could keep both of them, like, since it's building technically the same thing, it's a supermodel on both of them. I wanted to see if I could do it on both. Like, for sure, I want to add it into the connect model. Like, do you want to use a modlet folder and put the fixture, basically it'd be the same stuff being generated, just stick it all in one folder.
So would you use like a flag, like -- modlet or something? Is that what you're saying?
Or just like a prompt.
No, just
a prompt.
There is an issue in the DoneJS generator about generating supermodels and modlets.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm basically proposing that, like, just add an extra prompt with a default value of no, just to keep it the same, so you can just one more enter key for people I don't think is going to hurt too bad.
Yeah, I don't have
we can work for it.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be extra maintenance to test both ways, or.
Well, the only thing is this normal for generators to have like to generate differently? Is that something? It seems a little weird, as generators usually do the same thing every time. They're not like, hey, you want to do it this way or do it this way. Maybe they do.
I don't know. So.
I guess prompt or a flag. Yeah, but definitely add it to yours, and then I want to look at it anyway. But that one looks pretty useful anyway. So maybe we can graduate that one eventually.
Okay, I'll do it that way then. We'll start with the connect model.
Justin has a lot of details that he put in the issue on the generator DoneJS, so he probably has lots of thoughts about it.
Okay. Okay, that's all I had. Thanks, guys.
Then let's wrap this up for today. Thanks, everybody, and have a good weekend. I'll see you all next week.
Okay.
Yeah.